So here we are in Cricut Design Space, and the first thing we need to do is upload the file. So you've downloaded the file and you go find it. It's the SVG that you want. I'm showing you with the Satori Hudson file, but it works the same with the Bianco. And there it is. Now, this is when you can give it a tag. Let's see, ornament, box, or however you want to label it. And click Next. Now, select the image and insert it. And there it is. Now, the first thing you want to do on Cricut before you do anything else is come up here and resize it. Here, you'll see that the retain portion is locked, and change this to an 8. Enter. And now it is the correct size to fit the ornament. Now that we have everything selected, we know it's the right size, we can ungroup the main thing. I included this one in case you want to create your own file and make another ornament yourself, or cut out the felt backing or cork backing or whatever you want for your ornament. This is what will fit, and I used this when I did a felt backing with a rotary blade. Let's start with the lid. Okay, this is the lid. Let's move this one out of the way so it's not distracting. This is the lid, and when Cricut imports files, these are actually cut line, correction, they are score lines, but they are showing as a cut. So you want to come over here, select that, and you can see that it is the score lines. Then come here and make it a score line instead. And now you see that it changed to dashes instead of the solid line. And we want to group these two together. I'm sorry, they are grouped. Now we want to attach them. And let me go back a little bit. If you did not attach them, so now they are not attached and we wanted to make it, it has the score lines completely separate from the box lid. So that's not what we want. In order to have the score line stay exactly here, we want to select the score line, select the box lid, and attach them. Now when we go to make it, here it is. Actually, here it is. There's the bottom. Oh, that's the top. And now they stayed connected. But we're not ready to get started yet. The lid is good. Let's come to the base. Here's the base. And again, you can see that they're all solid lines because it thinks we want to cut them. It's set to cut here. We don't want that. We want a score line. There we go. Now the score line and the base attach. So now let's review. We have these two are attached and grouped together. We have the lid score. You know it's attached because here it would say detached, but we know that those are attached. And if you wanted to cut this, but I'm not going to do that right now. And this is for the acetate. You can use acetate if you have it and put it in the box lid, or you don't really even have to. If you don't have any handy and you're in a rush and it looks just as pretty without it. It's just a little extra something. So we have everything ready. Our score lines are correct, and we'll go to make it. And it wants us to start with the base. Now, this will take one 8.5 by 11 sheet for the base. Okay, for my base, I'm using a sheet from the Recollections, as you can see, and this has a lot of different colors in here. But to go with my top, I think I'm going to go with the red. So these are the 2 pages I'm using. And what you want to do, I'm going to start with the base. I want my score lines on the back so that it will be a prettier box. I don't want to do it this way. I want the score lines on this side. Okay. So load it upside down, the pretty side down. Load it into our machine. Let's make sure here that we have 8.5 by 11. That's what I'm using. And you can see that indeed it fits. And let's continue. This is like cardstock, I suppose. It wants me to use my single scoring wheel and be ready with my fine point blade. So, my scoring wheel is indeed in here, as you can see. I've got my fine point blade ready and sitting to the side. We're going to score it first. It always wants to score first and then cut. And here we go. Now I need to load the fine point blade. Did the scoring and without removing the mat, leave it in. Load your fine point blade. And let's go. Before I unload it, it wants me to unload, but I want to make sure that it actually cut through, and it did. If it did not cut through and you had the wrong settings, you don't remove it, you just push the C again and it'll go through all of it again, it'll cut it again, and that will solve most problems. So, when we remove it from the mat, you always want to turn the mat over and remove the paper from the mat so that the mat is curling and not the paper. And try to keep this paper just as straight. You're not going to hurt the mat unless you get kind of crazy. And I'll show you what I mean. If you try to do it this way, it ends up curled. So don't do that. Put that to the side. We'll set this aside for later and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so we scored on that side. Now let's load the lid. And again, I'm putting the pretty side down. assemble it in just a moment, but I did want to show you that this is exactly the right size for the ornament. Can you see that? So you could actually use this for the backing if you wanted. Or if you want to create a different design for the front with vinyl, you can see that it fits. And you could alternatively, after you assemble the box, you can put a hole punch there or send it through the Cricut and put a circle there. And it's a gift tag. Okay, so now we have the box made. We've cut out our pieces. Here is our bottom. Here's our top. Here's our acetate. We'll use this after we put it together. And here's just a couple of ornaments that I made to show you how it ends up. So remember, we scored from the inside. Just give each of the score lines a good fold. And then let's fold these tabs over. You can use glue, you can use hot glue. I'm just using tape runner right now. Very easy. Just line it up. There you go. Let's see. There we go. Get it nice and square. And now the same with the lid. Fold it first. And you see how the edges still look nice because we scored it on the inside and not the outside. And the same here. Our edges still look nice. Just give them a good fold. Fold your tabs back. Glue your tabs. And for the acetate, we'll just put some tape in each of the corners. Lay the acetate in. Press it down good. Give it some little fluff. And there you have it. You can try with the Grinch too. Get all of his hair in there.